Impact Wave will surround G Sophia in a wall of ultrasonic waves. It is best used when surrounded or to attack enemies too low for your cannon to reach. It can penetrate terrain, but it won't destroy obstacles, and it uses quite a bit of SP. Come to think of it, haven't we seen someone before who used an attack like this? I could have sworn. Yeah, he would blow a horn and unleash a wave of damage. Oh, but his main weapon was something else. Like a kind of tool you'd see a construction worker carry. Is that so? Who Jason was referring to in that little conversation was indeed Shovel Knight, because in the previous game there were DLCs released, and Shovel Knight was one of the playable characters for those DLCs. So, in theory, you can play as Shovel Knight in a tank, and it's freaking awesome. I'll be sure to show off the DLC characters for both 01 and 02 in an extra part. I just want to get the trilogy out of the way before I look at all the extra bells and whistles and stuff. Because, like I said, you got Shovel Knight, and then you got two other characters I don't know of, and then you also got Shantae, who is awesome. Yes, and even Jason will reference Shantae in this game, because he's got a whip attack, and Jason will be like, haven't I seen this girl who whips with her hair? Oh, I don't know. It would have made more sense if he referenced to Belmont, because he's not attacking with his hair. His hair is way too short for that. I mean, it's still spiky, but I don't see him just headbutting everybody in sight. That would be weird. What I'm doing next is going to see Gonbei and Tae. They have an optional side quest I can do, and this optional side quest dictates whether or not I get the best ending in the game. The choice is yours. You could just leave the planet anytime after you defeat Gather Vera, but I like happy endings, so let's try to get Jason and Eve their happy endings. That sounded wrong. Anyway, I remember when Blaster Master 02 was first announced for the Nintendo Switch back in 2019, and this was slightly after I completed the first game, so I was excited, but I was also skeptical because, oh boy, there was a Blaster Master 2 for the Sega Genesis, and that was not a good sequel at all. I was glad to see that Blaster Master 02 did not in any way remake Blaster Master 2 on the Sega Genesis, because that would have been absolutely lame. But I'll elaborate more on that after this cutscene. Hey Jason, long time no see. Oh god, if I ever hear that phrase again. Since you came all this way, you must have noticed the mutants are still roaming around. I thought it was weird since Severa's gone and all, so I had Tae look into them. And Kuebiko Island showed up smack dab in the middle of the ocean. That's where the mutants are coming from. Crossing the whole dang ocean. No way we could just leave this be. We want to go check it out. So we started upgrading Kuebiko, but it turns out we're missing some important parts. Yeah, real interesting parts, but since Kuebiko's already in pieces, it's a real pain in our behinds to go get them. Now, rumor has it that what we need is in the nearby mountains. They're gold coins my ancestors buried long ago. We need to find those coins. I'd say we need 8 of them. I know you're on an important journey and that you're in a hurry. But if you happen to find the time, could you get those coins for us? Jason, if you're worried about me, I'm fine for now. Let's help Gonbei. If Eve's okay with it, I am too. We'll help. Let's get those coins. This little fetch quest involves coin collecting. Yes! I thought I was done playing Last of Us 2 for a week. Fuck. The coins are marked on the map for you, so they won't be too much trouble to find. Unless you're blind. I'm not even sure if Eve will comment on whether or not the coins are nearby if you talk to her. Actually, to be honest, I don't even think I talked to her at all because she doesn't even talk about the coins. So, yeah. There will come a point where if you talk to Eve too many times, she'll just get bored and fall asleep. So, there's that. One thing to annoy Eve, just rattle on about useless shit, and she'll be like, let me just turn on sleep mode, I guess. The in-universe explanation is Eve is sick, so she needs the sleep mode in order to conserve energy. But my headcanon's like, Jason's talking about Power Rangers, and Eve is just like, Oh, enough with the Power Rangers! Yes, I get it, the Red Ranger's cool. Turning on sleep mode. Don't talk to me. I was on about the sleep mode and I forgot. Oh yeah, Blaster Master 2. That game fucking sucks. Okay, the music in Blaster Master 2 on the Sega Genesis. I gotta elaborate and say on the Sega Genesis or the original Blaster Master 2 because I don't want to confuse it with this game. Blaster Master 2, the original, has terrible freaking music. Now, I'm an avid defender for the Sega Genesis sound chip, but Blaster Master 2 just sounds terrible. It's worse than nails on a chalkboard. It's... oh, ew. Also, let me pay respects to this grave right here. It's never made clear who died there, it's just a random grave. Another reason why the original Blaster Master 2 was such a garbage fire are the controls. Not so much Jason on foot. He controls kind of fine, if not a little slippery. It's the tank, you know, the main attraction of the whole entire series. Yeah, it controls like it's on ice. It also doesn't help that that game introduced sloped hills into the series, which will make your shots even more irritating if you happen to roll downhill, because if you're just a pixel off on the slope, you'll just go rolling downhill at light speed. It's ridiculous. Another thing that turned me off from the Genesis game is the lack of weapons for the Jason character. It's literally just a rapid-fire pea shooter for Jason and that's it. Nothing else, no wide beam, no shotgun, no electric cannon, just a pea shooter. If you're going to call the game Blaster Master, give me more weapons to blast fools with. I'm serious, not just a danky ass pea shooter, I want a freaking wave beam that will destroy the planet or something. And if we're going to be quite honest, the original Blaster Master from 1988 did the weapon system better than Blaster Master 2 on the Sega Genesis because it had more weapons. Even though you lose them very quickly, you still had more weapons in that game. And another thing that pissed me off about Blaster Master 2, and I could just make a rant video about Blaster Master 2 on the Sega Genesis and it'll be like 30 minutes long. It's the freaking box art. Now, you take this color of this background right here, you just make it really bland and generic looking, and then you just slap the logo on it. There you go, that's the Blaster Master 2 for Sega Genesis box art. It's disgusting. I don't even like green. Green is a really putrid color. Why use it as a background object? I know simplicity can sell, but come on, that box art is just really boring. Now, compare that to the other box arts in the entire series, whether it be the original game or the freaking Zero series. Come on, Blaster Master 2 does not hold a candle to any of the Zero box arts. I'm serious. Oh god, I think I just popped a vein. Bad box arts can do that to me. So, there is more on why Blaster Master 2 on the Sega Genesis is the worst in the series, but I think I'll lay off for now. It's a really clunky game. Oh wait, there's another reason why Blaster Master 2 on the Sega Genesis is the worst in the game. Worst in the series, I mean. And there's no Eve. And I think that's because they didn't write her into the series canon yet until Blasting Again, but still, there's no Eve, and I'm disappointed about that. It's literally just Jason, and in the weirdest situation too. I think he was a farmer in that game, and it takes place 5 years after the original Blaster Master. So that's a weird story writing choice there. Just make Jason a farmer, and he doesn't even have Fred with him, so I assume that Fred is dead, because in that continuity, Fred was an actual frog and not a robot. Yeah, everything about Blaster Master 2 is wrong. So, if you're wondering why Sonic the Hedgehog went through its dark age between 2003 and 2008, that was only 5 years. Blaster Master's dark age started as soon as the first game. And it didn't really end until 01 came out. That was 29 years. Hey Gonbei, we got the coins. Great! Thank you. Now we can finish Kuebiko's upgrade. You went to a lot of trouble for us. Here, I want you to have this. It's my way of saying thanks. Now, Emblem Kuebiko, that's gonna be very important. Gotta be honest though, I have no idea what it does. And I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this thing. I'll run some analysis. Mind if I hold on to it? Montoj is now 100% completed. Now, the funny thing about 02 compared to BMC1, you don't need every item in the game in order to get the good ending. What you need are 3 very specific items that are more so given to you than you have to look for them. So Gonbei gave me one of the items, I just need the other 2 items from somebody. Who knows, maybe we'll have to fight them for it, maybe they'll just give it to us, I don't know. Well, actually I do know, but I don't want to spoil things. I gotta say, out of the entire trilogy, how they do the good ending, bad ending type of thing for every game, I gotta say, this game does it the best because you don't need every item in the game. Well, it's recommended that you get every item in the game because it just makes the game easier, but you don't have to. This part right here, you gotta use the recoil jump, otherwise you're not getting the item. It's not that difficult, you just gotta time the jumps well. Flash Sphere, I don't use this weapon at all. In fact, it kinda sucks, it's just a landmine that explodes after a while, and it leaves behind residue. I don't use landmine type weapons in these games, to be honest. But getting back on my tangent about the Zero games and their multiple endings, 01, you have to get all the items, and they do mark the items on the map, so it's easy enough to track down. So there's that, and it's relatively easy to get the best ending in 01. Is not that hard. 02 on the other hand, or 03 on the other hand is a bit more convoluted, and I'll be sure to try to explain that to the best of my ability when we get to that, because it kind of stumped me when I first played it, honestly. The weird thing about 03 is just how everything works in that game. You may like it, you may not. It may be the best in the series, or you may find 02 better. It's one of those games. It's highly experimental, and I like it. I think it's the best in the series, but it's kind of weird. The ending is... okay, I don't want to spoil the ending until I actually play the game for the channel, but the ending to 03 and the trilogy is just kind of strange. It makes you wonder what Jason was actually thinking. And no, not strange as in a very bad strange kind of way, it's strange more so in a very subliminal, can't even say that word right, a very subliminal, what the hell just happened kind of way. It's one of those. Alright, making its return is the Energy Guard. You can take 1 free hit without losing your gun level. Now that I'm thinking about it, this game would not be happening if Eve weren't so stubborn and just left Jason. If she had stayed with Jason, everything would have been fine. Oh wait, they wouldn't have gotten the Zero Sophia and the Mutant Core would still attack Earth. Fuck. Ever since we left Montoj, Eve has been spending more and more time in sleep mode. Eve's body is using Sophia's energy to keep the mutant corruption at bay. Because of that, she stays in Sophia and operates on energy saving mode. Every sub-weapon and maneuver we equip puts more pressure on Sophia's energy systems. Eve must be using her sleep mode to reduce that strain. But in exchange, it's likely taking a toll on her body. Once more, the further we travel, the stronger the mutants get. I need to find a way to increase Sophia's energy output. I never would have thought a Blaster Master game of all things would make me care for the characters, but holy hell, the Inti creates do a good job with the characters here. You have some games where every character is an inseparable dickbag, and then you have other games where you want to have a drink with every character in the game because they're just that damn cool, but they aren't real, so yeah. Blaster Master is one of those games where you want to have a drink with the characters. This Planetoid is fairly straightforward. You get a cannon shot upgrade, which I find pretty useful, but I don't use it that often. Yeah, that's kind of weird saying that, but I only use it a couple times during the game itself. It is the Auto Cluster. It's a rapid-fire machine gun type of cannon. And not only does the cannon shots itself hurt, which it should, it's a freaking cannon shot to the face, but the shell casings hurt too. So an enemy can come crawling from behind you and they'll just get destroyed because the shell casings are impacting that spot, and they'll just get annihilated because it counts as damage. It also pierces through terrain too. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is one of the better weapons in the game. I just don't use it that often because it drains SP like a mofo. So I don't use it that often just to conserve on the SP part. You see, I'm already out of juice. Now I'm relegated to the pea shooter again. Getting hit will also restore your SP like falling off a building, but don't get hit. It's better to just fall off a building and not take damage than to take damage and get the SP back. You see? It makes no sense. And that particular sentence I just said a couple of seconds ago may sound out of context for people who are just tuning in to that particular point in time. Jumping off a building is good. It restores your SP. Wait, what? No, do not jump off of buildings with tanks. Or jump off of any cliff with tanks. You will die in real life. Just watch the tank battle scene from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. How would that have been different if Sophia was the tank in that scene? Well, for one thing, I think Jason getting shot in the head would just mildly irritate him instead of outright killing him, but that's just a whole nother different tangent in and of itself. And the tank would just do a cartoonish bounce up and everybody would be fine. That's how the tank fight should have ended. Man, I love Last Crusade. Anyway, oh, these fucking electric fences. I hate these things. And I also hate these enemies too. They're just so squirmy and I can't get a clear shot on them. They also seem to mess up my blast counter too. Like I'd be trying to aim for another enemy and I just somehow shoot the enemy that I'm not aiming at. These creatures are weird. I hate those slug-like mutants. They suck. And this is actually kind of foreshadowing the next part because they're going to be the main enemies of the next level, or world. Technically not a world since it's just a giant ship, but it's all relative. So Mighty Number Mine here is just like the Mine from earlier, except even tougher. Yippee! He's not that tough though. This guy does have a different type of proximity mine compared to the Mine from earlier. He puts down torch bombs, and that's literally just a firebomb. That's it. It's not your average proximity mine. Why did I jump off the cliff there? That was stupid. And the torch bomb. Again, I don't really use this weapon that much because it's a landmine, but it is useful in that it decoys. And you can get away from certain enemy attacks because they're just going to be attacking the torch bomb. But shit's about to get real, seeing as we made it upon what seems to be an abandoned ship. So let us investigate, shall we? This looks like a toy I owned in elementary school. Is this the spaceship that was popping up on the radar? Weren't you watching the radar, Jason? I believe so. This signal, somewhere aboard, is a module that could increase Sophia's energy output. Eve, don't push yourself too hard. Please get some rest. Sorry, Jason. I just need a bit. Sleep tight, Eve. Hang in there until I find that module. I'm picking up multiple mutant signals aboard this ship. Not a single sign of life aboard other than those. The mutant attack must have wiped out everybody and everything else. It will be tough going on without Eve's assistance. But this is no time to falter. I'll take care of this on my own, for Eve's sake. Ribbit, ribbit? Oh! I'm sorry, Fred. It'll be the two of us, right, buddy? Ribbit? Next time on Blaster Master 02, hopefully we can turn Eve back on. I didn't mean what you think I meant.